Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Two Old Crows Homestead. This is Shelly. It's been a minute since we put a video out. Oh my gosh, things have been so hectic around here. I'm finally able to get back to this bed. Back there, yeah. And I'm gonna plant garlic. And I don't know if it's gonna grow because it's November and it was supposed to be in the ground in October. But since I'm building my soil here, I'm hoping that it'll still work. There's the terrace. Y'all are so noisy. You just gotta interrupt everything. So we're gonna get the garlic in the ground this weekend. And if you've watched any of our other episodes, you know that all of this is just kind of a big experiment. We're just trying different things and seeing what works for us. So anyway, let me just turn this around and I'll show you what's going on. So, this is the bed, or one of the beds. And you see that it's filled with cardboard. Underneath the cardboard is another layer of cardboard. Underneath that cardboard is a layer of leaves, and underneath that layer of leaves is a layer of horse poo. As I've said before, we've got like a surplus of horse poo back there behind our barn. The previous owners had horses, and that's where they would clean stables and take that back there. And so that's actually what is laying on the ground. So there's a layer of manure, there's a layer of leaves, there's 2 layers of cardboard. I'm getting ready to put another layer of leaves, and then right over here, see the big blue totes right there? They're cut in half. And then there's a little box right there, and then my little experimental garden right there. There's all kinds of smaller beds in there that have all kinds of great soil in them, and plus the raised bed that's going to have to be moved, so the soil is going to have to come out of that. So I'm actually going to take soil from all of those places to put into here, and then I'm going to top it off with compost that we've made recently. So yeah, that's the plan for this bed. Okay, so I thought I had my camera going, but apparently I did not. How frustrating. So what I just did, on top of that cardboard, I added a whole garbage bag full of leaves, and I wet all of those down. And you have to make sure your cardboard is wet too. Soak it really well. So yeah, I'm just building layers of stuff that is eventually going to compost. There's going to be dirt on top of this that my garlic is going to go into, but underneath it, it's going to be all stuff that's going to break down hopefully over the winter and make some really awesome soil in the bottom of this. Okay, so I just went over to get the dirt out of those 2 blue barrels over there. And last year I had tried to grow potatoes, regular potatoes in one of them, and sweet potatoes in the other one. I did grow some potatoes, not very many. I was not successful with the sweet potatoes because I had no idea how to grow sweet potatoes. And now I've gotten that book from Danny at Deep South Homestead, so I'm hoping to be more successful with that this year. However, last year, Crystal and I found one of those green hornworms in that container, and it was big and fat, and we gave it to the chickens, and they loved it. They fought over it and everything. But as I was taking the dirt out of the container that I tried to grow sweet potatoes in, I came across this. Can you bring that over here? Not him, you. So I came across these, and there's like a whole, what am I saying? Okay, yeah, there's a whole thing of them. And I'm fixing to feed them to the chickens. I really think that big one that I found last summer was in there laying eggs. I'm pretty sure that's what those are. And they're alive, they're moving around, but they're getting ready to be a protein lunch for my chickie babies. So yeah, I don't want them crawling around in my new bed, especially if they're hornworms. So that was just a weird find. Look how rich and black this dirt is. See any as I'm shoveling it in there, holler at me.
How are you gonna keep them out of it?
That's what I bought those. So I bought some hoops for this bed, and I'm gonna string chicken wire over them because our turkeys are terrorists. And yeah, they like messing with everything. Eating everything and digging and everything. I actually planted a little pot up on the patio back in, when was it, September or something like that, and I put some.
There's one right there.
There's one. But I planted a pot up on the patio with broccoli in it, and yeah, they came and tore all that up. So that's what they do. So I'm hoping that the whole hoop thing will work. I think there's another one. Yep, there's another one. So they each get at least one. I'm not cool with you little worms being in my garden. I'm not entirely, there's another one. I'm not entirely sure what you are, but I'm pretty sure that you are hornworm babies. That totally explains why we found that worm completely down in the middle of that bed. She's down there laying eggs, wreaking havoc, being ugly. And there's a really good chance that I'm entirely wrong about what those are. If I am, you can leave me a message in the comments. That's cool. Like I always say, this is all a learning experience for us. Every day, something new. We recently got some white-crested Polish chickens, a male and a female. And just because I've always wanted some, and I know that's kind of breaking my rule about, you know, things on the farm. But I'll show them to you at the end of this video. But Cooper, you better not eat them worms. They're for the new babies. Go lay down. So this is all soil from those buckets, and also from my raised bed out there that I had tomatoes in last year or last summer.
12 cubic foot.
I'm actually very pleased because that soil that was in that bed was just loaded with worms, and they were huge. So some of those have migrated over here, and that's really good. That's a good sign. It also had a bunch of grass growing on it because when I put my tomatoes in it, I actually mulched it with hay. So that's probably why the grass was growing on top. But yeah, the grass just came right off the top. Okay, so on the very bottom is manure. On top of that is leaves. On top of the leaves, there are 2 layers of cardboard that has been thoroughly soaked. They were actually, that part of it has been out here for a couple weeks. And we've had lots of rain, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't been out here working on this, because the weather has been so weird around here. So on top of the cardboard, we have another layer of leaves that I brought out this morning. You know, all the stuff is dead and it's just going to break down underneath this. And then on top of that, we put a bunch of the good soil from our, you know, little experimental garden that we had this last year. So now on top of this, I've got 2 containers full of compost that came out of our chicken tractor on steroids that I'm going to put on top of this. One of the things that I learned at the Back to the Land Festival was that the whole idea of composting and mimicking nature, it's Cooper, dude, what are you doing? You can do that now, but you better not do that when I got my garlic in there. You hear me? You better not. You better not. Anyway, lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh. What are y'all, what? Little terrorists are back here, trying to interrupt. But anyways, compost, that's where I was at. To mimic nature, when nature composts, it's basically, you know, like you go through seasons, the leaves fall off the tree, trees fall down, things die, whatever, it lays on top of the ground, it decomposes, it creates rich compost. You know, if you go out in a forest, you can find all kinds of places where trees are starting to fall apart and you know, places that you can touch and it'll just crumble and it looks like rich black soil. That's compost. So the compost, I'm trying to mimic nature here. The compost is going to go on top and I'm going to wet it down real good because it has been sitting in our barn covered up and it's kind of dry. I'm going to wet it down real good, let that set, and then I'm probably going to come back this afternoon and do all of the planting. I think the turkeys are going to get my treats that I have for the new chickie babies. This is really dry. All right, so there is a layer of compost on top of the soil that we took out of the garden, the previous garden beds. You can see right there. I did have to wet it down. It was a little bit dry. So I'm not sure of the effectiveness of it. We may just have some really good mulch, which is fine. Again, this is all a learning experience. So I purchased this hoops to put over this bed because my turkeys are terrorists and they tear up everything that is any kind of plant. Not everything, but they did tear up my flower beds. It is the end of the season, so whatever. But so anyways, I bought these hoops to put over the beds because our terrorist turkeys eat everything, and I'm not entirely sure how they work. They have clips and bags. Clips. I think that those are for you know, like you can buy that Agribond frost protector. You can buy that. My intent with these is I'm gonna go today and get some chicken wire. So I thought about buying the Agribon stuff to go over this, but garlic doesn't need that, right? It's supposed to be, you're supposed to plant it in October and it stays in the ground over the winter and comes out in June, right? Of course, mine may not be June because right now it's almost Thanksgiving. But my idea was to buy chicken wire and drape over this to keep my terrorist turkeys from getting in there and digging up and eating my garlic. I don't know if they'd eat it, but they love to dig stuff up. So, yeah, that's my intention. And apparently, my dogs love to dig stuff up too. I actually turned my camera off, and the minute that I turned my camera off, our dog Cooper and Crystal's dog Socks jumped right in there and started digging the fire out of it. So I've got my beds ready to put this into it. I don't want to put the garlic in until I'm able to, I need to get some zip ties, and I'm able to put that chicken wire over the hoops out there, because, again, my terrorist turkeys will destroy everything that I've done. So, now, I'm not sure what kind of garlic I have. And I did not order it from a, like a seed company, or I know M.I. Gardner sells it and a bunch of different people. I didn't order it from them. I ordered organic garlic from Azure Standard, a big bag of it. So that's what I'm going to use. Now, I believe these are hard neck. They don't fill. Yeah, I think they're hard neck, because they don't, even though that's like laid over, it's got a hard neck. So, and all of them feel that way. So yeah, I believe that's because you can't hardly bend that over. So I believe they're all a hard neck variety. But basically, I need to take these apart, take the little clove out, and that's what's going to get planted in the ground. And my little dog Molly just knocked the camera. Sorry about that. So I'm just taking these apart. I know you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just taking these apart, taking the papers off. So let me just show you. I have two cloves here. These are actually still stuck together. So if I hold one, they're stuck together. And they came out of this. They fit in just like that. Okay? So this is the bottom. This is the top. And when you put them in the ground, this pointy end gets pointed up. So I'm just going to break those apart. You take all this, I know it's not paper, but I call it garlic paper. You take all of this stuff off. You can put it into compost. But yeah, that's what's going to get planted in the ground. Check out how nosy these guys are. Always up in my business. Except for that one over there. She's minding her own business. But these guys are over here picking in my bed. I don't have anything planted yet, but this is why I have to put chicken wire over it. Get out of the bed. Dude. Or dudette. Get out of the bed. Get out of the bed. Get out. I know. Y'all think you're in the show. I know. All right, it's day 2 of this project. I'm getting my garlic planted, and we're definitely gonna have to cover this thing with chicken wire. I'm praying that these hoops work because the turkeys have already been out in it, the dogs have been in it, so yeah, I'm just hoping that this will deter them. So to get started, I'm laying out a grid pattern of holes in my garden bed. According to In My Gardener, he says that you should plant them about 4 inches apart. And he also says if you come in and look at this, like I've got these four right here, I can also come in the center of this and plant another one if I want to. There's plenty of space between these for 5 of these to grow, and I can do it in every part. I don't know if I'm going to do that because I don't know. I know I have plenty of garlic. I don't know if I want that much garlic. I may change my mind next year depending on what this grows. But yeah, I'll see how much I have left over. If I have some left over, I'll probably come back and fill that in the center. But basically what you do, you have your garlic clove here, and this end, take my gloves off. A little bit chilly out here this morning, but not that bad. You have this, like this is the bottom of the garlic. You have a bulb clove. This is the bottom of the garlic. This is the top, the pointy end. The pointy end goes up. That's all there is to it. So you drop it down in the hole, a couple inches deep, cover it over, and bam, you have planted garlic. Okay. And by the way, if y'all don't have one of these, see, if y'all don't have one of these, you need one. This one is Berry and Bird. I'll leave a link down in the description. This is a sow dipper, and I love it. It makes gardening so much easier. Make the hole, drop the seed in, bam, you're done. You can just go along poking in the ground. It's awesome. So I did come back and put the holes in between the 4. I actually, last night when I was sitting peeling garlic, I peeled a butt ton of garlic and I still have a bunch in the bowl over there. So I'm going to figure out something to do with that. As you can see, there's kind of the grid pattern, and you just got to come back in and cover them up. That's all you got to do. So I have 104 cloves of garlic in the bed, covered up. And next I need to put a covering over it because while we were planting the garlic, the terrorists over there were trying to get in it and eat it, or dig in it, or whatever. So, yeah, I've got to get it covered up. I'm going to be using, I actually had a roll of this, and so I'm just going to use this. I've got these spaced, you know, this width apart, like this. And I'm going to zip tie that to those hoops and staple it to the side of the bed to try to keep them out. We'll see if that works. I don't know. I'll keep you updated. Okay, we are done with this project. You don't know how excited I am about this. So we have 104 cloves of garlic planted in this bed. Crystal and I just attached, we ordered these hoops from Amazon, and Crystal and I attached chicken wire to the hoops, and we ran out of chicken wire for the ends, but I had some like scrap pieces of hardware cloth, so we stuck hardware cloth to each end, and I'm hoping that now it is turkey proof. I don't know if my garlic's gonna grow. I'm a month late. It should have been planted in October to be harvested in June, and here it is almost Thanksgiving. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping that it comes up and it'll get adequate rain. As I promised, Meet Izzy and Ozzy. This one right here is Izzy, and this is Ozzy. They are, I think they're called white-crested Polish chickens. But the guy that sold them to me, they called them black-crested, but it kind of makes sense that they're white-crested, so I don't know. They're one of them. But they are currently residing in our rabbit hutch because our rooster doesn't like them. And he's not being very nice. So, yeah. So, they're very pretty. And we're going to try to figure out something else. Because, these things actually, in our area, there's a lot of interest in these. And if you're breeding these, you can actually make a lot of money off of them. But I'm not sure if that's what we're going to do. I've just always wanted a pair of these. And they're just so cute. And really, they're great chickens. They're not at all. They're very friendly. They let you pick them up and hold them. Yeah, they're very friendly. So, hey. Say hey, Izzy. She's a sweet girl. So, that's the newest addition to the Two Old Crows homestead. So, that's it from Two Old Crows homestead. We're going to get inside and get a few things done in the house. And I hope y'all have a very blessed Thanksgiving. Spend it with people that you love, people that you enjoy. Remember what we, all should be thankful for. And God bless. See you later.